Good evening. This is Evening Sky. I'm your host, Sky. There's a pause for a moment there because I was like, "Where the numbers?" I gotta make sure the numbers is up here. But anyway, let's get right into it. Reggie White Jr. has been interviewed with Vlad TV on multiple occasions. He was the former head of Death Row Records. He was head of the security team, so he has intimate details. Pause about Tupac Shakur, Tupac's his dealings, whatever went on in his last days on Earth. Um, he's very knowledgeable. But the main news, the big news that just came out was an extremely racist rant that Tupac went on regarding white rappers. Now, there's a clip in the inside within the clip that shows Vanilla Ice. There's two clips within the clip. But there's one with Vanilla Ice. I think he was talking to Vlad as well. He was saying how Tupac was bigging him up. He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be big. You're gonna be a phenomenon. You're gonna be this. You're gonna be this super powerhouse act, and everything's gonna be real good." Tupac predicted it. Vanilla Ice. This is like in the early '90s, like '90 or '91, something like that, when Tupac was with the Digital Underground. And Reggie White said he hated the Digital Underground, even though they had a song later on, "I Get Around," with Shock G, rockin' power to him as well. Um, they didn't really have that much, going for him. But Vanilla Ice blew up. I think he sold what? I don't know. He made millions. He sold millions of records, and he opened the channel. He's like the Christopher Columbus of hip hop. If I could make an analogy, he's the Christopher Columbus of hip hop. There were people way before him. Way before him. Didn't matter. People knew about America's way ahead of Columbus. We all know that. We know that the Santa, the Anna, the Pinta, the Santa, hold on. The Pinta, the Anna, the Santa Maria, excuse me, were centuries late, according to our historical tracks, our recordings. But he opened up the trade routes. That's what Columbus did. Columbus opened up the trade routes from Europe to the Americas. Nobody had done that before. That's why he's so celebrated. That's why you have Colombia as a country. You have Columbine as a flower in a part of Colorado. You have Columbia Broadcasting Station. You have Columbia University of Columbia, or is it? I think it's Columbia University. Columbia University. Pardon me. I'm going too fast. But that's the gist of it. That was the whole idea behind it. He had the sense of Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice had the sense of being somebody that charted new waters, but he was really just opening up the trade routes. He was opening up the audience for hip hop. They're like, "Oh wow, look at these Negroes. They got a white guy up there. Oh my God, this is pretty cool. This is awesome. I guess I can get down with it too." And that's too, because there were multiple gold and platinum records. Don't get confused. LL Cool J, Run DMC, Public Enemy. They had a large white following as well, but Biz Markie, Kool Moe Dee, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim. The list goes on and on and on. Those are just like the standout, huge, East Coast players. There's also Ice-T. There's E40. There's people from the West. There's people from Chicago that were popping. I can't think of their names, but I'm sure you can fill them all in. But anyway, Reggie White was saying how Vanilla Ice, he didn't get the version that's been played now on all across the internet. Tupac saying, if we're not down with that, we killing it. You making up records, we killing it. We killing them. Not like literally, we're shutting it down. We're not supporting it. That's what he's saying. And so he just made that emphatic note. He made that emphatic note that he would shut down all white rappers. And the irony is that after his death, Eminem made a record called I think it was called "Dying to Live" with Tupac and Biggie on it or something like that. He produced it with their previous recordings, their vocals. It's just goofy to me. This whole situation is goofy because I don't understand why you know Vanilla Ice, he like he said, he was like really adamant. He was like, yeah, he was pumping him up. He was like, yeah, you're gonna do well, you're gonna do well. I want to see how much. I didn't research that. How many records has Vanilla Ice? On this day in 1990, Vanilla Ice went to the extreme with record-breaking controversial debut album. Four months of Ice Ice Baby at number one. It stayed at the number six, stayed at the top for a 5 week jump from number 23 to number 7, but it's also stayed there for 16 weeks. Wow. It sold 2 million copies in a little more than a month. Did you guys have a pause? Because I had a pause for a moment there. That was crazy. Hi, Isha LP2W. Hi. Tell 12,000 people about me. Vanilla Ice made the list. Okay. He made the list during his album's 6th consecutive week at number 1. Green predicted there was no end in sight for the chart-topping run. He also claimed the album was shaping up as one of the most phenomenal hits in the history of the music biz. So Tupac was feeling some type of way after the fact. He was like, "What? This cracker? This cracker sold more albums than I did on his first album? Oh hell no! We shutting that down. We killing them. We gotta kill them. We gotta kill them all. Kill all their sales. Kill all their projections. Kill all of that. You can't have anything. You're not having a thing." Who is this? Gunther Gumelang 4487 said hi. Hi, Gunther. Yeah, so it's up. It's up. This video this is yeah, it was I think was it audio? I think it was an audio clip. It's an audio clip of Tupac going on, sounding off. He was sounding off. He was crashing out and sounding off at the same time. But he predicted his own thing. That's what happens. He predicted his own death. Almost exactly how it happened. He predicted there was going to be a black president. He predicted that he predicted that people will still be selling drugs. He predicted he was a prophet. He definitely was a prophet. Prophet Pac. He definitely was a prophet. There's a war in the streets and a war in the Middle East. Still going. There's a war in the streets and there's a war in the Middle East. He was very adamant. He was very clear about that. But that is the reality of it. That is the truth. So Reggie White Jr., to put it exactly, he had inside information, and now he's telling. He's telling. Pac's dead. Snoop moved on, bought the label. Dre moved on, made his own label, Aftermath. Keefy D is in prison. Suge Knight's in prison. Is Keefe D in prison? I don't know if Keefe D's in prison. I think he's just in jail. He might be just in jail. I can't remember if he was sentenced or not. I don't think they had a trial yet. But he's definitely, I think, locked behind bars. That can be stated. But yeah, this Tupac audio is direct. It's raw and explicit and strong. He's like, nah, we gotta kill them all. We gotta kill them on their records. We gotta tell them, what it is. We gotta say something. I mean, he didn't predict Eminem. That's the irony. He didn't predict Eminem. He predicted Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice opened up the trade routes. He was the Christopher Columbus of this hip hop stuff. He's the Christopher Columbus. I'm saying this. I'm stupid. I don't know. It just came to me that he's the Christopher Columbus. The way he's hated, and the doom 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 doom, the ting 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 the ting ting with with Queen and David Bowie pressure. The beat. He was arguing how they had a different sound altogether. Like, come on, man. Nigga. Sounds exactly the same. It's like there's no difference to it at all. But he's adamant about it. He was strong about it. He was telling his side of the story. Complete BS, but that's a totally different issue. Despite the long chart run, Vanilla Ice's debut garnered mixed reviews from critics. Generally, it was a novel and interesting idea at first, but after a while, the shine wore off and the mediocrity was exposed. A review in the UK magazine Select called the album spectacularly hollow. Still, it didn't discourage kids and neophytes from enjoying it. Mostly, critics were middle of the road about the debut. Not necessarily something you want when your album is called To the Extreme. Yeah, that's the way it is sometimes, That's the way it is. But I just view it as such. I just think it's an interesting kind of deal. It was the fastest selling album since Prince's Purple Rain in 1984. It was released in 1991 when it rolled out. So this was like 1990, 91 when Tupac was talking to Vanilla Ice. Okay, Sir Rick James, salute to you, sir. We are doing it live with the man who brings the latest in black views. He is known for his culture and study of Iran. Get it straight, it's Skylar Daynerder Seas. I appreciate your efforts, Rick James, but you gotta lay off the water. You gotta get off that PCP. You're messing with your brains. And how you spell things and type things into your console. I don't even know what you're using. Are you using an Apple II? What are you using? Are you using a Commodore? What are you doing? Do you have an Atari? Are you using what's your computer system? I use the iPhone 5, sir. Wow, you're taking it back. Does it even have video? Are you looking at the iPhone 5 and then looking at your another monitor? Because iPhone 5 doesn't have. Oh yeah, it does. That's true. No, I take that back. iPhone 5 does have FaceTime. So yeah, okay. I'm rolling with you, Rick James. Make sure you tell 1,000 people about me. Then we'll be on really good terms. But you're good money to me. I appreciate you. You're day one. I type with iPhone 5 and watch from my flat screen. Okay, that's right. You did say that. That's a fact. I'll hold you to that. You did say that. My message pops up on your TV screen, says Skylar Saunders is live now or something crazy. But yeah, I appreciate it though. Thank you very much. I on the lazy chair with my last table. You got a lady around you, right? You got a young lady with you, right? She's holding you down. Scratches. What is scratches? What are the scratches? Are you familiar with this audio of Tupac saying all this racist stuff? The glass table has a lot of scratches. Oh, okay, got you. Okay. But are you familiar with this Tupac audio? If you remember this Tupac audio, young lady was her birthday yesterday, just turned 24. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. That's what I want. I mean, if I had somebody the same age as me, I want somebody either a little bit older or same age or very young. Like 25, 26, something like that. Kind of young. Hi, no, sir. Okay. Hi, son husbands. Hi. Hello. Hello. How old are you? That's your first question. Jesus loves you. I am 37 years old. Jesus loves you, Polar Frog 67 says. If you can get yourself a 19-year-old, you can get yourself a 19-year-old. I've never had anything younger than 20. Never had anything younger than 20. I look 20? Well, I appreciate that. That's because I'm the devil and I'm aging backwards. I'm actually 844 years old. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your compliment. I'm not a Muslim. No, I respect the people. I don't respect the faith though. I respect. It's like, the people within the faith often say, love the sinner, not the sin. I respect the faithful, not the faith. Okay, that's your business, JRXTS13. Thank you for that information. Okay, I respect you still. Okay, cool. That's the only thing we can be. That's all we can be. We can be respectful. We don't have to like each other, but we're going to be respectful. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Who's aware of the Tupac audio? I'll give you 2 minutes to look it up online. Just say Tupac racist rant, and it should pop up, and you should listen to it. Go on YouTube, sign off of here if you want to, but go on online somewhere. This space is all about respect. Yes. Did you notice, Rick James, we were having a party for a little while. We were up to 12 people. Now it's down to 9. All we need is one more person. We got a party again. Tupac racist rant. That's right. He talks about white people. But so what? What if he ain't talking about white people? So he's talking about white people. He I don't think he said it in the sense, I'm not trying to, I'm definitely not trying to cape for a dead man or something like that, just because we have a similar skin color. But like I said, he was pumping up Vanilla Ice before he grew up. And I'm sure he's still getting money. I'm sure Vanilla Ice is still getting paid off of Take It to the Extreme. I can almost guarantee you it. It may not be, huge checks, but he probably gets, $1,000 here, $2,000, maybe $5,000 here, something like that, from his effort. It sold 6 to 7 million, sold 7 million copies in the U.S. Just the United States alone, 7 million. And that was like the Nielsen scan. That's not like streaming. That's hardcore copies. You had to go out and get cassettes and CDs and albums, phonographic albums. Did you know Ramadan is coming up? I did not really realize it. No. Find Tupac racist rant clip. Did you know Okay. Don't spam, son husbands. Isn't Tupac and Biggie dead? Yes, Tupac and Biggie are dead. More than that, sir. More than what, sir? More than what? Did you know Okay, you gotta slow it down, son husband. Slow it down. He's making at least 3 figures. Sorry, it's all good. Just slow it down. Just slow it down. But yeah, he's making at least. I mean, he may have that. He may have $200 checks. I don't know. He hasn't really discussed it, but I'm sure he's good. And he's a white guy. He's in America. He'll be all right. He's white. He'll be all right. I'll pull the figure. What's your favorite color? I think you asked about another question. If you ask me more than one question, you got to give me. He's Ecuadorian, sir. You got to give me at least $15 if you want, and I'll give you my Cash App, my PayPal, and my Venmo. But it's got to be at least $15 since you already asked the question. Son, let's see some dollar soons, some dollar soons. Whoa, you gonna slow that down? That's between you two. You're grown men. I only defend the ladies. But if you're grown men, if you want to say shut up, Richard, he's definitely a day one. You gotta slow it down, son, husbands. If you guys want to talk about it, going back and forth. What do I get for $15? You're gonna answer a question. That I have to tell. I'll tell you something about Did you already ask the question? You'll see. I have to understand you better. Arrow Astro 7540. $15 goes a long way. That's all I'm gonna say. Pow pow. Time is money. What can I get? Okay, so you just lowered the price and you just asked another question. So I'm definitely not gonna answer that question. This is a business. This is not playtime. This is not hee hee ha 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 goofy time. This is all about dollars. This is all about dollars and cents. This is all it's about. Yeah, okay, Ashley, you're asking a lot of questions now. You're still asking a lot of questions, but you're not saying, oh, what's your Venmo? What's your PayPal? What's your... I will answer those questions. What's your PayPal? What's your Venmo? What's your, excuse me, oh, what the hell is it? Cash App. If you ask me those questions, then I'll be happy to answer them. Those are the questions I'll answer. Let's see the money. Exactly. Thank you, Rick James. That's why I respect you, sir. Is this another question? Oh my God. I think you're missing the point, sir. I think you're really missing the point. But going back to the story, Tupac just crashed out. Like he did on many occasions. He just crashed out and said, gotta kill him. He's not saying murder him or anything like that. We gotta kill him in their sound scan there. And that was when sound scan was first created, I think. 1990, 1991, something like that. And those were like when the charts were heavily vacated by heavy metal and pop songs and stuff like that. Like yeah, people sold like 10 million out the jump. With Metallica. Metallica sold like 10 million, just crazy. I don't think they had diamond yet. They had they just had multi platinum. Guns N' Roses. They had multiple platinum records. Crazy. Appetite for Destruction. Crazy. Where's the main man? Who's the main man, Rick James? But he so I just think Reggie White Jr. is like, he's just stirring up some trouble, I think. I don't know. Maybe he's just stirring up trouble. Maybe he's feeling some type way, he knows something. He knows something that he knows something that he knows something. He was the head of security of Death Row Records. He was around Pac a lot. A lot. He was with Pac for a good amount of time. So if anybody knows what happened, the night of Tupac's death, he may have information on it. I'm saying allegedly. I'm saying he might have something on it. That's not malicious. That's not to be, saying that anything in ill will or evil intent or anything like that. I'm just saying he it's just an observation. This is a true observation. He knew Tupac very well. He was the head of security. And this video, and well, not video. Is there? I can't remember if it's a video or not. I think it's just an audio clip. But it's just anyway. There's the audio is the most important part. I think it's guaranteed that Biggie off Tupac. Yeah, we gotta slow that down, Rick James. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all. I think, they were sadly silenced, maybe by the same person, allegedly. I don't know. I'm not an investigator. I don't know. That's those deaths have been reopened and open and cold and all kinds of stuff all over for the past going on 30 years now. Who's this? Magdalene, 17W. Hi. Hope you're not 17. Tupac is the most overrated artist of all time. That is not a fact, sir. Tupac is probably one of the greatest minds of all time, of ever. I mean, when I'm talking about Einstein. I'm talking about Newton. I'm talking about Shakespeare. I'm talking about Confucius. I'm talking about Jesus of Nazareth. He had that pull. He had that intensity about him, about his character, about his sensibility about himself. Look, Rick James, we're having a party. Oh, we're not. We're having a party for a little while, for just a few seconds. We had a party. Tupac invented modern hip hop. You know what? You're kind of right. You're not exactly right, but you're kind of right. Tupac is probably the most influential artist on the scene right now. Now we're having a party. It's probably going to go down to like 3. No, it goes down to 6, but it's having a party, not having. If you're not sure what we're having a party means, it's at least double figures. Double figures. Sometimes I get to triple figures, but Sir Rick James and I, we talk about that the most when we're having a party. Now it's down to 2. Jesus. He invented modern hip hop. No, I don't agree with that. I don't think he invented modern hip hop. I think he had a say in it. He definitely had a say in it. He was one of the most influential. But today's is more melodic. He was never really melodic. He didn't sing on songs. He just straight rapped. He was like the rapper's rapper. He never sang a lick that I know of. He didn't sing at all. He wasn't like Bone Thugs and Harmony. He wasn't like that at all. He was his own. Danny Brown invented modern hip hop. You would say that, Rick James. Danny Brown invented modern hip hop. That's funny. That's hilarious. Danny Brown invented modern hip hop. That's funny. Danny Brown, I just listened to him. I like his style. He said some really provocative stuff. I'm like, God damn, this nigga, how'd they let him record that? They let that out in the recording studio? What? Tupac invented the holographic concert. He didn't invent it. It was more so the people at Coachella that did that. The technology was used at Coachella in 2012 for his hologram performance. But Tupac didn't invent it. He wasn't the one behind the technology. He was just used for it. So yeah, I just think it's just weird. It's just very strange how he flipped. He was like, ice, Vanilla Ice, man. You got this, man. You gonna go far. You gonna make the big time. You gonna be all over the place. You gonna be doing. Fast forward a few years, man. Get them out of here. We gotta kill them all. You can't get them on here. White man on here. White man trying to do this thing and then the other. Was it a white man who killed Tupac? Dun dun dun. Everybody think it's Keefy D. Everybody think it was Diddy had something to do with it. Was it a white man that said, you know what? You want to talk about this? You want to kill them all? Okay, we're gonna kill you. Allegedly, I have no evidence. I have nothing. I have nothing. I'm just saying it was Trump. Rick James, you're wild for that. Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer were exceptional. That's the truth. That's a fact. Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer were doing numbers. Okay. Everybody clowns. Oh, yeah, MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice. Yeah, they're cornballs. They're whack. They were, they didn't go nowhere. They lost their money. They lost, all their endorsement deals and everything. At the time, the early 90s, 91, 92, something like that, they were the biggest hits ever, ever to do it. I think that's why they had to change the sound scan, because there were so many different, records sold under Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer's name. Okay, Eminem is rated. He's not underrated. He's not overrated. He's just top rated. He's top rated. Eminem is top rated. He's in my top for greatest, not my top favorite. For greatest, he's probably in my top 10. Somewhere in my top 10, he's in where, somewhere like there. Somewhere in there. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. His rhyme style, his whole myth, the whole dual ideas of Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers, or Eminem, same kind of idea. The fact that he's a producer as well, that's just cool. Spaghetti, 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 spaghetti. Mom spaghetti. That's right. And don't you forget it. Mom spaghetti. All right, so let me wrap this up. We were having a good time. I was rolling. Oh my god. I didn't even see the time. But yeah, so go on, listen to it for yourself. Let it swirl around in your head a little bit. Understand, like, damn, was he really a racist? Was he, was he just feeling, Tupac? Was he just having a Tupac moment? Anything that riled him, anything he found out, when he was shot in New York at the studio, he swirled around in his mind and said, okay, it was definitely Biggie and Diddy. They did this, and that's the reason why I got to have I have to wage a whole coastal beef with them, But anyway, all right. So let me see if I can even transition into this. The people that are being accused of DUI and at sobriety checks across the United States has been increasing, and they have a beef with law enforcement. Do you see what I did there? See how I tied it together? All right. Commercially fabricated BS, Disney level marketing. I don't even know what that means. I don't agree with that. Did they find baby oil at the crime? I didn't finish your question, but that was clever. That was funny. But you're asking questions. Whenever you ask questions, you got to put money. The first question is free. The following questions, you got to put dollar signs on. This is not play time. This is for me to have more money. I'm paying $500 in interest charges on my credit card. It's crazy. Are you kidding me? I have to get this loot. Give me the loot. Anyway, yeah, did you sub yet? If you sub, I can see that. I can understand that. First question is the free trial. Yeah. Make sure you sub, and you tell 6 other people to sub too. 9 people to sub. 1,200 people to sub. 100,000 people to sub. Tell 12 million people to sub. That's how serious it is. It's $29. That's funny. But anyway, all right. So there was one incident where this man had autism, right? He made a mistake. He made a misstatement. He misstated. He said he had ADHD. He should have said he had autism. That's the catch-all. That catches you in. Oh well, damn, he has autism. Oh, ADHD, isn't that attention deficit hyper activity disorder? So you're distracted from the road. You're the ADHD is preventing you from driving properly. All right, get out of the car. But this has been happening for the past few months, past few years, and there was a study that was done for people that were on marijuana and one on a placebo. And the placebo, they found 49.2% of the time people were pulled over on a placebo or on a sugar pill, essentially. Something that didn't have any effect on their body. There's examples of men and women being arrested and still have to, I think probably have to still see a judge or something like that, and their alcohol level was negative. Their blood alcohol level was negative. It was 0.0 most of the time. There was a Hawaiian man that was pulled over, and he was arrested. He was put in the back of I would say the paddy wagon, but I think that's racist now. I thought that was a clever thing, but now I figured out that's a racist term. He was put back in the cruiser, and I was just wondering if this is like a continuing trend. The news, reported on it, and they're saying multiple states across the United States of America are experiencing this. Multiple people, multiple motorists are experiencing this very certain situation. My thing is the irony. This reminds me of 9/11/2001. All the people that they're stopping and they're doing sobriety tests and all this stuff. They're not drunk or they're not on drugs, prescription or otherwise or anything like that, or taking recreational drugs or something like that. They're getting stopped while the alcoholics going through the red lights and the stop signs and going to plow into a 4-year-old, and it's a tragedy. But they could have been stopped way back, at a checkpoint or something like that. But the other person, the guy says 0.0 alcohol blood level, or 0.0 alcohol level. They're getting stopped. They're the ones that are taking the brunt of all this. They're taking the sheer numbers of people being stopped and pulled over. It's really sad. It's just really shame, because there should be no there should be no initiation of this. This is initiation of physical force in a sense. They're not fighting. They're not fighting the cops. They're just telling them. I mean, there is no God, but thank God for body cam footage that's showing these people that are literally just driving their cars. The guy with the autism, he said that he was he only had 3 hours of sleep and he just worked a 14-hour shift or something. He was explaining to the cop. He asked him, "You were swerving back there. You were going over the lines and things like that." And it was like, yeah, I just had a long shift, And so I think that's the main issue. I think that's the problem that we have to contend with, because legitimate motorists are the ones that are here. Like I said, with September 11th, everybody's back. Oh, are you carrying this? Do you have this? Why do you have this? They had the terrorists had the hijackers had what they call box cutters and stuff like that. Just go on through. It's all right. Yeah, you're good. You're good. It's all right. It's on. You're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. And everything obviously wasn't okay. And I'm just making that, a similarity, just making that, what is it called? It's kind of like a simile. I'm using like, but I'm trying to think of it. Goddamn, what's it? I'll think of it later. I can't think of it right now. It's gonna come to me. I'm like, oh. But that's analogy to this. I'm making an analogy to this metaphor. Yeah, thank you, Eros. Well, that's a question, but you phrase it as not a full question. So thanks, I appreciate it. I'll let that go. Maybe you can have 2 free ones. They're just as dangerous on the road. Metaphor, yeah, okay. And I said analogy, Thanks, appreciate it. But the going rate is still, for questions. If you want to know a question, like a true question, who, what, when, where, why, how, they carry money after the first question. That stick in your head. Okay, so I think that we have a system that is completely corrupt and broken. There's people stealing people's lives. There's people, robbing people, raping people, And they're worried about DUIs of people that aren't drunk. I could see if there was issue with people getting drunk. Okay. People definitely need to go to jail. They need to get a sentence. They need to get stopped. I mean, there's online. If you go online and say drunk drivers or something like that, famous drunk drivers, they'll say this one girl was like, "But I'm famous." This TikToker, she was a TikToker. She must have like a few million subscribers, followers, or whatever the case may be. And she was just like, but I'm famous. Like, you can't arrest me. Like, what? How delusional are you? So I would say that it is it's extremely, precious to understand how, resources are being, expended, time served, time on the clock for cops. Their time is being expended worrying about people that aren't drunks, that aren't alcoholics, that aren't behind the wheel. There's a law that says you can't arrest TikTokers. That's a good one. That's a good one. That was good. That was good. There's a law that says you can't arrest TikTokers, sir. If you could, right? Right? She's like, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. But anyway, I just thought this was an amazing situation. This is such a interesting state of affairs that we're in right now. Like, are we what? Why are we arresting people that aren't drunk? While the drunks just speed away, one cop's just like, no, I'm gonna say in a scenario, the cops just license registration, proof of insurance, and then like a car just speeds by, he just looks up, looks back down, look license, like it's crazy. That's wild, but it's happening. I'm probably happened before. It had to happen at least one time out of the millions of different occurrences across this country. So I think with, the amount of people that have been stopped wrongfully, they should be compensated with money, at least money, something like that. They should be compensated. Cops should be severely reprimanded if they know that this isn't a drunk driver. They should be reprimanded. They should be, at a, in the desk or something like that. I don't know if is the desk job really punishment? Maybe for some people it is. They want to have the rush of the, in the car, and the chases and the home inspections and stuff like that, Maybe that's what they like, but they always say like your desk, you'll be at a desk, or you'll be suspended, and it's always the gun and the badge, it's a classic thing from the TV shows. You watch a lot of TV. It's always like they have their gun and their badge, and they put them on the chief's, desk or something like that. It's just weird. It's goofy. But yeah, so I like to just say that, I respect the policeman. The policeman, I always wanted to be a police officer. The man in blue, the woman in blue is a friend to you. I respect cops, but something's broken. Something's broken in the system. Something's not working right. And it's very telling. It shows that something isn't working right. There's a serious situation with the people that get pulled over and then they get arrested, like the autistic man. He failed the sobriety. They're like, oh yeah, well, he failed the sobriety. So what? Just because he failed his sobriety, he completely has no alcohol in his system. He's not on. He is taking drugs, but they're prescribed drugs, and they're not even impairment. They're not, impair, drugs that would impair his driving. He could have said that he was autistic. That would probably been a better way of showing it. But he was, he told the truth. Still said he had ADHD. I mean, can you not drive if you have ADHD? I mean, there's people that I know that have ADHD that are definitely driving a car right, probably right now. So I might have missed something in school, and then when they said, "Okay, class, A is for Apple, and you can't drive if you have ADHD." I don't remember. I don't remember that day in class. I don't remember that. I don't recall that exact situation actually occurring. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I just want to, voice this, get this out into the atmosphere. I know I don't have, 10 million followers or subscribers. I have 10 million subscribers on YouTube. That's okay. I get to get my ideas out. And somebody's going to get them, and somebody's going to, share them and put them out into in a wider net. And I just dropped this a viewer. I think Rick James is the only one viewing right now that I can see. There's a lot of times there's people in here that, again, now I'm at 0. But it's going to go up to 1. It's going to go up to 3. It's going up to 6. Then it go down to 2. Like, I have no control over that. But it's fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. Yeah, so that's the thing we have to really realize about the people that we have and working for us and doing things for us, is to understand where they're coming from, what they're doing, what their ideals are. That's the thing that we have to really comprehend as citizens. Because I mean, I've been stopped before by the police. I've been stopped maybe one time, and it was a weird situation too, because it was like, I was in my car, and my car was really janky. It was a really janky car. And I was like pressing down the accelerator just to keep the car moving. Like, it was a weird way of it's how it functioned. It was like I had to press down on the accelerator and make it go, of course, but it had to be like, had to get it a little bit more and more and more, and that was like I was speeding by the time I realized that I was using my accelerator. And then I saw the red and blue in the back. I saw the crunch berries, and I was like, oh god damn, they got me. He's just like, where you headed? I was like, I'm heading home. Where you coming from? School. He's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna hit you with like the speeding or anything like that. Just make sure you have. It probably been. I don't know the situation, but I didn't have my insurance up to date. He may have let me go, but he said, you gotta have valid insurance. And that's the thing people don't really realize all the time. They say license and registration. Maybe in different states it's different. I'm not sure, but in Delaware, you have to have license, registration, and proof of insurance, which is weird because why is insurance even processed through yourself instead of your job? Why isn't there insurance for your car or your insurance for your house through your job? They have healthcare. I understand that there's a reason. There is a reason. There was like in the 30s or 40s or something like that. I can't remember. They figured it out. They're like, all right, we're going to make sure that our employers offer health insurance to their employees or something like that. And I get that, but it's just weird. It still is strange, though, how that works. But I'm talking to no one apparently right now. Rick James is getting a drink of whiskey and rye, saying this will be the day that I'll die. I don't know where Arrow went. Arrow just stepped out, said, "All right, I'm done with this nigga." But I gotta keep chugging along. Chugga, 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 choo, choo. Who's this? Anikia de XOXO. Yuck. Yuck. What is yuck? What's making you say yuck? Oh, here we go. Oh, the hater. Oh, Star Junior. Oh, of course. Thank you. Thank you for the hate. Thank you for the hatred. I needed this. Thank you for a view. I need the view. I need an extra viewer. Thank you for being that extra viewer. Yuck. Star Junior. Oh, that's cute. That was cute. That was cute. Can you say anything with a complete sentence, or is your mind not developed as much? You don't have a full brain. You can only say a few select phrases and words. Your brain's all cloudy from the meth pack you just smoked. Matter of fact, as a pack, this reminded me of, thank you, bitch nigga. Thank you. Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall. Let me spend the last 15 minutes, 10 minutes talking about Robert Duvall. One of my favorite actors. I always thought about, man, he's got to be. I looked him up a few months ago. I was like, damn, Robert Duvall's got to be someone. He was 95, so he had a good life. White man in America making money. It's a good life. You know, I can't shed a tear for him. I can't shed a tear for him. He had a good life. Definitely had a good life. He was one of the greatest actors. He had a range about him. He had a range where he could be Boo Radley and not say a word, but just his expressions and his physical presence. It was very felt. It was very noticeable. That was his first acting role in a TV series, or not too many, in a film, not a television series, a film. Then of course he was in two humongous, monumental movies. The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, both directed by, oh my God, oh, here we go. All right, God damn it, oh yeah, I know this. Why do I? What's his goddamn name? The Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola. Couldn't think of his name. I'm like F something F. But Ford Coppola, yeah. Yeah, he was definitely in both movies. He's very renowned. He's renowned for one of the most famous lines in all of film history. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. like just that line is very powerful. Yeah, he was in other films like The Great Santini. He was in one of the film A Family Thing with James Earl Jones, and one of the actresses. She's going to be 90, I think. I think she's going to be 90 or 90. She's in her 90s. Irma Mae Johnson, I think is her name. I can look it up. Hold on. Irma P. Hall, excuse me. Irma P. Hall. She's 90. She'll be 91 in June. She stopped acting in 2022. Known for Josephine Joseph, Soul Food. She has 2 kids. Yeah, so, I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, it's sad that he died, but I'm glad that he lived. That's the main thing. We celebrate life. We celebrate life. That's the whole goal. You celebrate life. I hate when people say, "Oh, this is their homegoing service." Going where? Going home? To what? nothingness to a negative. I don't like pilgrims. I used to go to a church called Pilgrim Baptist Church. Hated that after I figured out what there is no God. I'm a wanderer. I'm a stranger in a strange land and all this stuff. I'm looking, trying to find myself home. What kind of nonsense is that? Robert Duvall didn't live a life that was full just to have people say, "Oh, he's going back on home. He's going back to his father. He's going back to his king, and he's gonna be lying in rest. He's gonna be all right." Like we've really got to get away from that. We've got to get far, far, far away from that. We really do. It's very scary, very sad that we live in a 21st century technologically advanced society with a first century morality. And I mean, it's funny because like our technology mocks every bit of the morality. We got cars that go places. Well, why aren't we having mules and why aren't we pulling carts and stuff like that? We got planes that fly in the sky. Whoa! Only birds and insects should fly. Why are we? Why are people flying? What is this about? There's people going to different places like space and going to the moon. I mean, it's weird. It's very strange. Very, very weird. But salute to Robert Duvall. He was one of the greats. He won an Oscar. He won Best Actor for Tender Mercies. I don't think I've ever seen that movie, but I imagine he was probably good in it because he was very he enveloped the roles that he had. Tender Mercies. Who was in that? Tess Harper, Ellen Barkin, Alan Hubbard, Wilford Brimley. That's who I was trying to think of. Wilford Brimley. When he was 50 years old, he looked totally different from now I can't remember his name anymore. God damn. Man. Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd at the same age, they look totally different. Totally different. We're in a new age. We're in a totally different age. Totally different age. So, Robert Duvall, he had everything going for him. He's white, he was a man, he was in America, and he was making money. How can you hate? How can you hate on that? This is a fact of life. It's just a fact of life. And that's the first thing they say. Academy Award winning actor. Oscar winning actor. For a leading role, he won Best Actor. He didn't just win Best Supporting Actor because he was usually a supporting actor. Most of his famous roles he was supporting, like the Godfather movie and Apocalypse Now. He was in a supporting role. But this one yielded him a place among others that were leads. Yeah, so President's Day. I don't know if he played any presidents or anything. He was cowboys, lawmen, and other frontier characters in Western films. But he also played in family dramas as well. He also received a BAFTA, multiple Golden Globes, and 2 Primetime Emmys. Well, that's it. And look at this. This is capitalism. He had a long life. 95. It's a good run. If you just look at the time frame from when he was born to where we are now in sociology and psychology and economics and all the kinds of different ways that we study life. Totally different realm. Totally different realm. All right, so thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Make sure you tell 12,000 people about me. I will see you sometime tomorrow, probably around the same time. Thank you very much. Take care.